Hello everyone and welcome back to the FRC Historian, where today I'm going to be making my most underrated teams in FRC history, my third video off of Team 5172, the Gators out of Greenbush, Minnesota, where they started off in 2014. Now in 2014 they started off their first ever season at the Northern Lights Regional, a Week 2 regional in Duluth, Minnesota, where they went 8-2 in the qualification matches and ended up ranked second, which is a very high, especially for a rookie team, where they picked teams 28-26 and 46-24. Where here, they went 2-0 in the quarters, 2-0 in the semis, however going 0-2 in the finals, losing to the winning alliance of 21-75, 3-59, and 25-02. Now here, they would receive the highest rookie seed award for being second rank. They'd receive the Rookie All-Star Award for their tremendous work as a rookie team, and the regional finalists for being the regional finalists. Now here, both being the captain of an alliance and on an alliance for a rookie team is a very substantial thing to do, especially being the captain of a finalist alliance, which was a marvelous job on their part. Now, this would qualify them to the Curie Division and the World Championship in St. Louis, where they would rank 14th, going 7-3, and although not being picked by an alliance, they were able to have a very high record of 7-3 at the World Championship as a rookie team, and also received the highest rookie seed award. Now, for a first year, they did extremely well, not only being in an alliance, but captaining their own at a regional and becoming a regional finalist, which was a very great thing for them. Now, we're going to look at their 2015 season, their second season. Now, for the second season in 2015, they would start off their season at the Northern Lights Regional once again, where they would rank third with an average qualification match score of 77.67. Now here, they would pick the teams 25-12 and 47-86, where their overall average of 110.86 was able to get them into the finals, where they were able to sustain a high enough average in the quarters and the semis to get them second ranked overall into the finals, where although putting up some very high scores at 127 and 109, they would be defeated by the alliance of 525, 3130, and 4215, making them a regional finalist, and they would also receive the Quality Award as one of the awards they won at the competition. However, they would not make it to the championship as they did not win the regional. Now we're going to move on to 2016, where in 2016, the Gators started off their competition at the Northern Lights Regional once again, this being a Week 1 competition, where they were ranked 16th, going 10-3-1 overall. Now at this competition, they would be in the first alliance, teaming up with alliance partners 29-87 and 32-67, where they go 2-0 in the quarterfinals, 2-0 in the semifinals, but then in the finals, losing out against the other alliance of 25-02, 28-83, and 52-32. Now here, they would become regional finalists, as well as winning the Excellence in Engineering Award sponsored by Delphi. However, they would receive a wild card for their efforts here, which would qualify them for the World Championship. However, they would end up not needing it, as the second place they went to was the Iowa Regional, where they would rank first overall, going 16-0, or 8-0 if you don't, or going 10-0 if you don't count the 6, going 10-0 undefeated into the playoffs, where they would pick teams 525 and 1208, where they would go 6-0 in the playoffs, winning their regional here, their first regional ever won in their third year, where they would both be a regional winner and an Excellence in Engineering Award. Now, receiving both a wild card and a regional win, they easily qualified for the World Championship, where they ended up in the Newton Division. Now, in the Newton Division, they ranked 10th, going 9-5 overall, or you can say 7-3 going into the playoffs, where they were picked by where they were aligned with Team 67 and 3481, where they would go 2-0 in the quarters, however losing in the semis to the alliance of 217, 3476, and 4678, who would go on to win that division. Overall this year, they did incredibly well, becoming both a regional finalist and regional winner, and being picked at the World Championship moving into the semis. Now here, their overall record was 35-8-1, which is an outstanding record for any team for that matter. Now we're going to move on to their next year, that being 2017. Now in 2017, they would start off this year at the Northern Lights Regional once again, this being a Week 1 event, where they would rank 12th, going 7-5 overall, or 5-3 into the playoffs after the qualification matches, where they would align with teams 28-83 and 21-75, where they would upset the number 1 alliance, and then go into the semis, where they would be defeated by the alliance at 8-76, 25-12, and 27. Here, they would be semifinalists, as well as winning the Safety Award sponsored by Underwriters Laboratories. Now they would go on to the Minnesota 10,000 Lakes Regional in Minneapolis, where they would earn their way to Worlds by being ranked 2, going 13-3 overall, and then aligning with teams 4207 and 2509, where they would go 2-1 in the quarterfinals, winning the tiebreaker going on to the semifinals, where they would lose the first, win the second, and then win the tiebreaker, moving on to the finals, where they would win both finals matches against teams 21-91, 41-98, and 32-99, granting them becoming the regional winners of the Minnesota 10,000 Lakes Regional, and they would also win the Quality Award, in addition to winning this regional, going 13-3 there, where then they would move on to the Archimedes Division in St. Louis, whereas ranked 18th, going 6-6 overall, or 6-4 going into Elam's, they would align with teams 217, 28-34, where here they would go 0-2. However, they were able to do incredibly well this year, winning a regional once again, getting to the semifinals the other one. I'd say this was a great regional. Their overall record this year was 26-14, this being an almost double. They almost doubled the amount of matches they lost. However, a positive record is always a good thing for teams, and that was their 2017 season. Now, moving into the 2018 season, this is where they would go on to the Great Northern Regional, this being a diversion from the Great Lakes, from the Northern Lights Regional that they normally go to every year the first time, where here there would be rank 1. Whereas rank 1, they would start off going 9-2 in the qualification matches, where they would pick teams 45-39 and 61-75. Now here, going into the playoffs, they go 6-0 in the finals, besting the Alliance at 37-50, 5-25, and 56-38, becoming the Great Northern Regional champions. And they would also win a banner for the Woody Flowers Finalist Award for their mentor, Mary Anderson, receive the Volunteer of the Year Award for Russ and Mary Anderson, as well as the Excellence in Engineering Award sponsored by Delphi at this regional. After this, they would go on to the Medtronic Foundation Regional, where they would rank second, going 8-1 into the playoffs, where they would align with teams 46-7 and 45-36, where they go 2-0 in the quarterfinals, yet go 0-2 in the semis. They would also win the Excellence in Engineering Award sponsored by Delphi at this regional, going 10-3 overall, which is not a bad record at all. Because of their regional win, they would go on to the Tesla division, where they would rank 15th, aligning with teams 55-67 and 17-12, where against 25-90, 26-14, and 7-08, they were unable to move on in the Tesla division. However, the Tesla division was a very powerful division, and the team that they lost against here would go on to become the division finalists. Now, let's go on to their 2018 season. Now, in the 2018 season, now onto their 2019 season. Now, in the 2019 season, 51-72 started off their year at the Great Northern Regional once again, where they would become rank 1 once again, with an overall record of 14-2. Now, here they would pick teams 37-50 and 70-48, where they would go 6-0 in the playoffs, besting the Alliance of 8-76, 25-02, and 42-39 in the finals, with scores at 85 and 86. Where here, overall going 14-2, they become the regional winners, but they'd also win the Quality Award sponsored by Motorola Solutions Foundation for their first event. And then they would go on to the Minnesota 10,000 Lakes Regional, presented by Medtronic, where as rank 1, going 14-1 overall, they would pick teams 28-52 and 30-26, where they would go 6-0 overall, besting the Alliance of 46-7, 31-02, and 31-84 in the finals, becoming the Minnesota 10,000 Lakes Regional, presented by Medtronic Foundation Regional champions, and they would also win the Industrial Design Award sponsored by General Motors. Now, this would easily qualify them for the Carson Division, or in the Carson Division, they become ranked first, where they would pick teams 18-16 and 17-96 as their first two teams to play as, where here they would go on to go 4-0 in the quarters and semis, and then into the finals they would win the first match, lose the second by 3 points, and then lose the third by 8 points, thus almost making it to Einstein, yet being very, very close this year. And remember that this would have been one of the only rank 1 alliances to win, as you know in one of my videos I made previously, or if you did not know, this was the only year that a non-rank 1 alliance has never made it to Einstein, especially in the round robin with 6 alliances at each Worlds. Of the 6 alliances in Detroit, none of them were rank 1s, and 51-72's alliance was arguably one of the closest. Now, thank you all for listening. I wanted to cover the history of Team 51-72 of Minnesota. I hope you liked it, and please, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below, or any ideas for anything else, please let me know, and I'll do it at my earliest convenience. Thank you for watching. This has been the FRC Historian.